All right. Hey, welcome back to the Go for CEO channel where we bring you CEOs, founders, entrepreneurs, and intrapreneurs. I am John the Bomb. Building others means business. That's the acronym. And super excited. I actually am going in the way back Rolodex here. So stay tuned. This is going to be an awesome, awesome interview. It's one of my friends from really a while ago. I think we were texting and saying, it's probably been 22, 25 years since I've known Lucy, and you're in for a treat. She's developed herself over the last few decades and recently launched RIVA Chic, and I'll let her kind of go into it, but I'm super excited to have a friend, an old person that I knew that, we partied together and had fun, and I've just seen her growth in different industries. So Miss Lucy, how are you? And RIVA
Um,
Chic.
Hi, I'm good. How are you, John?
Good, good, good. Excited to have you on. So, yeah, let's dive into it. One of the first ways that our interviewees and CEOs and founders kind of get this party started is to share with us, Riva Chic. It's like a cool name. I see the background. I'm sure we're going to learn a little bit about some of the techniques and things that you've been able to develop and how you're rocking the marketplace. But tell us a little bit about your background, and then obviously the story of like, hey, what was the idea from? How did you think about this? Did you have anybody to reference? Those types of things, and we'll go from there. So take it away.
All right, well, thank you, John. Well, moons ago, I've always loved, I'm very creative and crafty and all that kind of stuff. And I've always loved going picking, garage sales, even when I was younger. I just found them interesting, and the older vintage items were very interesting to me. One day I came across, I went to some kind of vintage market store, and they had such beautiful old furniture that had a different look to it. If it was painted, if it was stained differently and all that kind of stuff. And I said, God, I wish I can do that. Kind of let it go for a long time. And then one day I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go try that. So I went to Goodwill, was my first purchase. I bought a $5 coffee table. Won't forget it. Came home really stressed out. What am I supposed to do? I had to do a lot of work, which I'm not used to doing labor work at that time. I was more of an office person and nails getting done. So getting that sander out was tough, and doing all that work to remove the varnish. I didn't realize how much work there is to that. And then I painted it and I sealed it. And was it the greatest job? No. But I decided at that time, Marketplace was just happening, and I posted it on Marketplace. And I said, well, what the hell? I'm going to try to sell it for $100, And I had people tell me, it's not going to sell for that much, please. You bought it for $5. I'm like, I'm gonna try it. It took a couple hours, and I had three people that were fighting against that table, and I actually got $125 for that table that I bought for $5. So that was where it started. I then started going to different shops and just meeting different people and women or men that have been doing this. And I'm not going to say they were kind of my mentors, but just kind of asking them questions. They all work from home, by the way. So this is all, it was a side job. It was a hobby. They have full-time jobs. So I said to myself, I'm going to, go ahead and start buying different furniture. I started going into different antique shops, and I wanted to be different. So I wanted to spend a little more money on my furniture versus going to garage sales, so that's what I did. I built relationships with antique dealers, just different shops where I will frequently buy. Or what if I buy bulk? Would it help me if I bought bulk furniture and store it, and then to just keep doing it? Mind you, I had a full-time job, and in the same time. And then I ended up renting a booth. So I wanted to be like those cool people and have a neat booth. And I pretended that was my little shop. My dream was to have my own store one day. And I never, ever thought that it would happen, because they're dreams. And knowing where my financial situation was, I did needed to work and just a home life. At that point, I had a husband, being a wife. I'm also a great chef. So I had all that, and I'm like, how do you do this? So my booth really, really took off. So I had to constantly bring furniture. Now, mind you, it was a 10 by 12 maybe area. So if something sells or if 4 or 5 pieces sell, you have to rush over there. You're working full time, but you could only go there on Saturdays. I didn't really sleep. It's all I cared about. I loved what I did. I then started marketing myself through Facebook, where I was paying ads. I'm like, well, let me try this. Now people started hiring me to paint their furniture. So
Mm.
instead of them going buying new furniture, I was doing custom orders. That became crazy. All this in my basement at home.
Mm.
At that time too, then is I decided to open up, just start doing interior decorating. When I had the time, when I was not working, to go to folks' home and charge them obviously a fee to decorate their rooms. They would give me a budget that they want to spend, and I did all the shopping for them all over the place. You got that, then you got a return. That was hard, because luckily my clients were pretty good and I knew their style, but I had to learn. So internet has taught me so much. Just watching different videos has taught me different things and ideas, questions to ask, just everything. I felt like I'm my own person. I don't care what Joe Bob next door did and what he charged. I felt comfortable what I was doing, and my customers were happy with me. So we then had moved a couple times from my husband's job, and we landed in Kentucky. And our little downtown Kentucky, it was called LaGrange. It has such cute shops. And I would drive around there and I said, gosh, if I could only have a store down here, it'd be great. At that time, I worked for a huge company, and I managed a team there. And my pay was really good. And I talked to my husband and I said, I would like to open up a little store, just a small little store to see where it goes. So
Mm.
that's how that happened. We then opened up, it was a 900 square foot little store. And I then reached out to people before I opened, vendors. I love people that are local, that handcraft, that make stuff that we can go buy at the store, but this is coming from their hands, because those people deserve recognition and I wanted them in my store. I wanted to sell it for them. So then now you're thinking about the company's name and how's this going to go and all this kind of stuff. So RIVA CHIC. RIVA is my background is Croatian. That is where my mom and dad are from. That is where my whole family lives. I speak the language fluently, read and write it. And RIVA was a special place in Croatia, Split, Croatia. If you ever have a chance, please go visit. It is the city center, as we would say in English. My dad passed away in 2017 from cancer. And when he was living, that was our favorite spot. It has been my favorite spot since I was 8 years old, because we would travel to Croatia during the summers and spend the whole summers there with our family. And as I grew older, it was also a place where you meet people, where people met each other to get married, or boyfriend and girlfriend. It was like a big, huge river walk. And that's all you do all night is walk, walk, walk. And I don't know, we call it something else. It's hard to explain in English, but there is the cafes and the restaurants and the hotels, and you're sitting right there and you're watching, looking at the Adriatic Sea. Every morning we go there for breakfast and have my coffee there, Croatian coffee or an espresso. And then you meet people. You can meet strange people, but nobody's a stranger because they become your friends in that moment. Coffee in our country, coffee is so important. It's a conversation starter, and it can also lead to friendships. So when my dad passed away in 2017, when I opened up the business, I decided to name it Riva, which is really pronounced Riva. And chic obviously means style. So I put those together, and here I have Riva Chic. A lot of people even today think, my name is Riva, or the Riva Chick, because I am in Mississippi now. So the river is here, and then they think it's chick, which is hilarious to me. um, but that's where Riva Chic came from. And then we ended up moving out of Kentucky because my husband had to be transferred over to a new job here in Natchez, Mississippi. And the first thing I told him, if I got first of all, I said, what in the world where is Natchez? I never even heard of it because you hear of Jackson, which is the capital. So a little small town here, really quaint. And one thing about it, downtown reminds me of Croatia. There's a lot of the teal colors, just old. It's really, really neat. And if you ever guys need to come and visit, if you want that small town feel, come to Natchez. It looks like a Hallmark movie, and we filmed a Hallmark movie, which I was in last year. So it was a Christmas Hallmark movie. And I then started searching for places. And I then opened up Riva Chic here. Last year in June 5th was my grand opening. So I just finished my 1 year anniversary here with my folks here of 18,000 people in the city, 41,000 people in the county. So you can just imagine me coming from Chicago, living in Tampa, New York. This is different, but it's comfort, and people make you the difference between the South and the North. I'm going to say everybody is like family here, and they treat you like family. My store, some people just come here just to talk to me, to say hi to me, or to come see Lacey, who is my cockapoo and my assistant manager. So that's where Riva Chic started, and I am continuing to paint the furniture, different refinishes. I've been told that I was the furniture doctor by a customer. I'm an artist when it comes to furniture. There's a lot of people that can paint, slop a piece, some paint over. It's not about that. It's about taking care of what is your process. How is that paint going to last you? How many coats of paint do you use? Some people put a coat or two. I put 5. What are you sealing it with? Oh, just 1 coat? No, I put 7 coats of that because you want it forever. You want it lasting. I do different designs with plaster on furniture. I mimic, I love, my favorite store is Crate and Barrel, expensive. I take vases that are ceramic and old, and I create and mimic those vases. So yeah, and I do custom orders still here, and Riva Chic is thriving. She's doing good, and I'm very happy. That was a lot, John.
Woo! That was exciting. No, what a journey that you just put us through. And if you just took a couple nuggets there, Gopher CO community, it's really a driven passion inside of Lucy, right? You heard, hey, I was little, I was creative, I would go to places, I would think, I would explore, my mind would go into different scenarios, but then you let it go for a while and you got into different industries and leadership and all that stuff, but you still had this burning desire. And I think a lot of people forget, for many of us, right, they're entrepreneurial, it's that seed that if you never water it, you're never going to find out, right? But you watered it, and it happened to be in Kentucky. You took a risk to get a retail location, which is a commitment in and of itself. And obviously talking to your husband, and that warranted this and that. So let's get into, because a lot of times at Gopher CO, we want to learn, how is it that you're running this business? What was some of the funding, the marketing, all that type of stuff? And I know I'll preemptively say that you said your husband is a SEO guru. So there's a lot of stuff in marketing and things that you developed in your career from other industries that you learned. So, you start by going to like a market, and you had this little booth, and then you get a place, and now you have to move to a totally different location. So give us this sense of, what did you learn from those first few times of having like a booth and a location to now set yourself up for success? Because you're already a year into Riva Chic and Natchez. And what are some ideas, some things that you could tell to a business owner that wants to follow you as an example, that would be some ideas of what they need to make sure they have handled, or how do they set it up the right way?
So being in a booth, obviously, and then going into the store, completely different avenue, because the only place you're really going to be advertising say your, Facebook, because that store is not yours.
Mhm.
And when I was in the booth, I noticed that when I was bringing in customers, I then was bringing customers into that store. They might not buy from me, but they were buying other people's obviously items.
Mhm.
And I'm like, wait a minute, if I can do this, why can't I do that for myself? Then it will be all mine. And when I went into my 900-foot square little store there, that store was empty for a long time. Actually, it used to be a hair salon. And where I was located downtown, I was on one of those side streets. So
Mhm.
boy, did I really need to advertise. And like, what do we do? So the local paper came to me. They did an interview with me, my story. So I was in the paper. Now LaGrange also was a small town, but not like Natchez. Um, so I had to do that. I had to have a website, which, none of us want to, spend the money on something like that because it is not cheap. But if you want to be successful, you got to do the right things. And guys, you think you get paid right away? No, you don't. I work for free. I work the hardest from Kentucky till here, the hardest with zero income to me. But it paid my rent. My rent's not cheap. I'm in a strip. It paid my bills. It paid my merchandise. It paid my supplies. And what did I get? I got to meet customers. I get to get repeat customers. I get so much more. And I have a husband. In the beginning, yes, my husband had to help me open up the store here at Riva Chic with some funding. And then bought me as a gift was my sign, which is thousands of dollars up on your building. That was my gift. And then they gave me some money so I can buy merchandise and I can do what I, got to do myself. And from the first month, the last time he's ever helped Riva Chic when it comes to funding for the store. So what did I do for that? Well, I spent lots of money on online or social media advertising. I love being on video, and all these new, the new kids on the block here are doing lots of videos and stuff. And, I'm old and I'm like, but I still love that kind of stuff. And
Mhm.
I went to go ahead and try that. Created a YouTube channel where I have DIY projects. Sometimes I don't like to share a lot of my secrets because those are secrets. Those are my recipes. I'll give you what you need and you take it from there because nobody taught me. I didn't never sat with somebody to teach, but I also hear Ariba Chic also offer paint classes, chalk paint classes, that is too, so that people can learn how to use, certain things as well. I would love for everybody to know, but when it comes to certain things, you obviously want to keep that to yourself. So advertising in the newspaper, tons of money there. Then they have like special events or things are going. Of course, that's going to cost you money. So then, you go in that. The biggest thing this year is my husband told me last year when we opened, next year, you're going to be able to, be involved in the best of Miss Lou, Mississippi, Louisiana, because we're right literally across the bridges, Louisiana.
Mhm.
I go, okay, well, how much is that going to cost me? He told me the number. I'm like, oh my gosh, but I have a year. So this year, I had to pay for my advertising, my banners. I mean, you name it. A new website here that was created. Love my website. Simple. I'm not an e-commerce, but I just loved the layout and everything. It was simple. I then did those banners online with the Natchez, with the newspaper here, local newspaper. They have banners and advertisement, and we had a lot of clicks on it. I get those reports. I'm like, wow, that's working too. So those dollars went to a good cause. I did radio spots. Never thought radio would work. I come from advertising and I sold other things. And I always said, oh, radio does not work. Oh, it does work here because people at the doctor's office tell me they heard Riva Chic and they can't, because I ask every customer when they walk in here, how did you hear about, especially for the
Mhm.
new ones, how did you hear about us? I saw you in the newspaper. I heard you on the radio. I saw you online. You know, that means it's working because how are you going to know if it works or not? My money, that's my money. A small business does not have money like Walmart. You know, we just don't. So it's very important to know where my money is going and what my ROI is on that. And it's been well. The Best of Miss Lou, I then was nominated. So the nomination rolls started coming. I'm a new business
Mm-hmm.
and advertising, pushing it. And now I made it to a lot of categories. I'm either the top 3 or top 5. And now I'm in the voting round. I am blessed and so excited that the 1 year that I've been here, the hard work that you put in, the sweat that you put in, the money that you spend to get your name out, because I don't care where you are. You could be in a big city, but not everybody's, they're not going to know about you. Why do you think McDonald's always still advertises? Why? We know who McDonald's is, but it's to remember that name has to be out. So now I am going to be in the newspaper starting next month. I signed a contract 2 times a week. My ad is going to be in there, not just in the newspaper, but online. People here love their newspaper. Don't think that people don't read the paper, because there are a lot of people. I'm still young. I don't read books on the ebooks. I like to hold my book. I
Mm-hmm.
like to hold my magazine. Plus, I also go online. But I definitely would recommend, don't be scared to open your dream, because it can happen, but you have to have the will, the ability, and have faith in yourself that you can, because if you have faith in yourself that you can, everything will work out.
Boom! Dropping mics on that one. Nice, nice. I love it. I love it. Look, I got a lot out of what you just said, in the sense of, it takes time, right? A lot of small business owners or people that are entrepreneurial spirits, sometimes think, hey, it's just going to happen overnight, right? And you mentioned something that you invested. Now, granted, you had a full-time job. You obviously are married, so there's a little bit of that support system as well. So tell us, when was the turning point? Because look, you bought something for $5 the first time ever and made like a 20x return on it, minus obviously your time, whatever that's worth. But from 5 to 125 is pretty darn awesome, right? So when you start forming this business, the first Kentucky shop, and now RIVA Chic, and the advertising and the sign and all that type of stuff, obviously there's an investment. Can you share with people then, I guess, what did you start to learn of how you priced your items so that there was actual net profit, right? So that you could actually have something that had extra beyond paying your rent, paying your bills, that type of thing. So go into that a little bit.
Well, a little bit in my line of work, it's going to always be different, because I buy furniture.
Mhm.
So I'm not talking about the picks now, because I also have decor. So I go picking on the decor. Behind me right here, that's all new merchandise. So that is also, I'm dealing with distributors that are obviously out of state, and then I'm buying wholesale, and you have to spend a certain amount of money, which is not cheap either, because how many people can afford, oh, you got to spend this much, that's my minimum order. I'm like, I took a chance, it's paid off. So that could be, obviously that's price, obviously different. Now on the furniture, you can buy, there are folks, and I know whoever's going to be watching this and that does this. Yes, you can buy furniture for $20, but you got to look at it. I have never, I bought $20 piece of furniture. I just haven't. My range when I buy furniture, depending what it is, it can be $80 to $250. Yes, $250. And then I have to fix it. I have to work. I don't want to share too much of, like, I don't get paid enough for my labor. No, I don't. Because if I did, my furniture would be expensive. I want to be affordable to everybody. I want to be affordable that, somebody who's low income, somebody who's medium. Yes, also people that have money, but I want to be affordable for everybody, because everybody deserves pretty things. Everybody deserves to have a nice home. They all deserve decorating. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars to have it. Also, when I thought about the pricing and stuff, okay, A brand new, nice table, a kitchen table. You know what it costs at the furniture store, right? And today's furniture is not made the same as it was back in the day when your mom had it, your grandma had it. We're talking solid wood, solid maple, walnut, cherry. Do you see that today? No, you don't see that kind of furniture today. And that's why people are also saving their furniture. They're happy probably that I'm here because I'm giving their old piece a new life, just
Mhm.
a new life. So when it comes to pricing, yes, I have to look at how much I bought for the piece. And then I have to calculate, like I know in my head, how much paint is this piece going to need? How much fixing is it going to need? How much Bondo am I going to be putting on this? How much, sometimes I don't have to sand everything. I scrub it because I use a special kind of furniture paint that has to be ordered. I don't use just chalk paint. Chalk paint is just for decorative stuff that I can do, or maybe blending different colors. It's really neat. But I order a different type of paint that is durable, so I have to calculate all that. And then of course, then what do I make? You also have to make sure that there's a gap opening. So say you have a sale. Well, how does somebody know? Maybe you have a 20% off sale. That's a lot of money. If I have a piece here I'm selling for $500, let's take off 20%. That's a lot of money. Okay. But how I also do things here is there might be some items that are maybe have been sitting here for a couple months. It's time to move them because I want new stuff. If I made a good return on one piece, it doesn't hurt to let's lower that a little bit. That's how it works. You ever wonder when you go to stores, oh, 75% off. You're like, what? That's how they do it because they made money on something else. So you have to be prepared for that. You have to be prepared for your specials that you may have, or maybe, yeah, your sales going on, Christmas stuff. I don't do after Christmas sales, like get rid of my Christmas. I'm a small business. I'm going to keep it for next year. I don't care. And I'm going to add more to it.
I love it. I love it. Your enthusiasm is infectious, and I think there's a lot to what you're saying, right? Especially from a retail, small business, understanding kind of the process of how you go into things. So let's go into, some of the relationships that you've built, right? You made investments like with the stuff that you have behind you. You said the vendors, minimum orders as an example, right? But you also mentioned earlier that when you first started, you wanted to build relationships so that you had access to certain things or certain furniture or certain knickknacks, right? That maybe others didn't because they only knew them one time, but you started knowing them 10 or 15 orders deep. So tell us a little bit about that and how that dynamic works. Do you still work with some of the vendors that you had 5-6 years ago, as far as like Kentucky and some of those places? And then we'll start going into the depth of kind of how you've started to form after 1 year, the Miss Lou and everything, and where the next steps are going to be.
Okay. It's hard to, since I moved and with our line of business, you really definitely have to build a relationship. I had to start all over again in this state
Mm.
because it's not cost effective for me to have people over there and then got to be delivering here. It's just
Mm.
not because it's very, especially nowadays with the shipping and all that kind of stuff. And these kind of furniture, you definitely don't want to ship them because they're not furniture that you can take apart like IKEA. I mean, these are solid pieces. So they would really have to be, delivered to you. So first thing I did here is I built relationships local. So we have local shops here too as well that I built relationships with, and I bought some stuff from them in the beginning, where it was also for the store. So it was great for displays or for my personal use or stuff for the house. But then I started going outside. So Natchez is in the middle of a lot of different bigger cities. So I started going out to Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Jackson. And I put my sales cap on, going in door to door. And I wanted to introduce myself. I wanted to see their store. Are you willing to work with me? If I can spend this much money with you a month, would you be willing to give me a discount? I will buy bulk. Do you offer delivery? Let's put that in. So I'm glad I had that in me, because I never thought I would ever use the sales part, but I did. So basically, I was a salesperson connecting with them on the phone, introducing myself, introducing my company, letting them know what I do. So that was a big help. And still today, I love my people. I love my dealers that I deal with. And they'll text me things now. Hey, Lucy, I just got this. I don't even have to go to estate sales anymore. They
Mhm.
do it for me. I have pickers do it for me. This is so important. Relationship building is so important as a small business. Okay. Because again, we're not big. We rely on these little things and anything to save you money. Because am I going to be a millionaire? Of course, we all wish, but come on, a millionaire doing what I'm doing, I don't know about that, but I want to be happy, right? And it's important that you also know where to spend your money. One problem that everybody has right away, they start spending money. I'm going to hire an employee right away. Da, 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 da. You have no idea where your business is going to take you.
Mm.
Why would you go do that? That takes time. You'll know when the right time is. Maybe financially it's not right, but you're going to know, you know what, in order for me to grow, I gotta sacrifice and do this. Maybe give up my pay up again. I did it before. Why can't we do it again? It will bring me more. So always remember that. So my friendships are grown there. And then here, I mean, and then I also established, so our type of businesses don't do a lot of delivery. Of course, I don't have a delivery guy. I mean, I don't have a delivery truck, anything. So I reached out to different companies here locally and said, hey, even furniture stores. I'm a furniture store, but I'm a vintage market painted furniture store, and ask them if we can partner for my customers' delivery. Not everybody has a truck, that they can haul this furniture, or maybe somebody elderly, they can't lift this. So I did find somebody, a local company that is 5 minutes away, and I'm very happy with them. Since last year, we have partnered with a company that does all of our delivery for us, for our customers, and they also give a wonderful rate to all my customers for RIVA CHIC. And not only do they deliver items that they customers buy, but they also pick up their items. If, say, a customer wants to hire me to do their custom order, they go pick it up, bring it to my shop, and then they deliver it back to them. So relationship building, again, that doesn't take overnight. Trust has to come. You're building something with them. I'm not paying anybody, but what I'm paying them in return is buying their merchandise. I'm buying their merchandise. And the more I buy, the more I sell, the more I come back. And they have wonderful items. They're beautiful items. And that's what's important to me. No such things as goodwill anymore and garage sales. That is not what my customers, that's not for them. I want something more, So hope that answers your question, John.
I love it. I love, there's a saying, right? When you have limited resources, you become resourceful, right? Your background of being able to be in sales before and market yourself and in different industries that you've been in. And then, that sense of, okay, let me solve for X when I need delivery. And I've seen your videos with your cool bike, right? So I figured you're not delivering a big piece of furniture on your bike. I was wondering, I'm like, well, how does she deliver the bigger stuff, right? The cool dresser that you have behind you, or the whatever, right? So it's really neat to hear. And I think Go for CEO community, you could see from this perspective that when you don't have the resources of the big giants, right? Every big giant started little. And what are some of the secrets? What's the secret? Why are you so successful? Because Lucy created relationships that, isn't for like the first dollar that you make in that relationship right away. It's for the relationship of going forward, right? And building something bigger. So awesome stuff. And, you mentioned a little bit about scaling, right? We like to talk about scaling and, employees and all that type of stuff. And before we got on the interview here, I know that we challenged that piece of the puzzle for you, but you're a year in, so that's phenomenal. Small business, 3 to 5 years is the toughest. So what are some of the next steps? And then we'll end the interview with CEO, which is client experience, engagement, and operational excellence. So, but what is next for Riva Chic in this next couple years?
In the next, I'm going to say less than 5 years, I hope. We would like to go back into, in the day, we also did custom furniture builds, where my husband was a little bit involved with his job, though. And right now we're renovating a home. It's taken away, but he does a wonderful, wonderful woodworking, and I do all the finishing and all that kind of stuff. So I would like to bring that in, a couple pieces that we built. I also am interesting to expand Riva Chic and open up. Maybe I've got a lot of questions. Are you, can you come to my house? Can you decorate my house? Do you do interior decorating? Yes, I did it before, but I'm planning, working on it as we speak. There's a lot of, so got to do a lot of research, guys, before you start doing stuff. I'm trying to work out something where I can maybe offer an online service for starting for interior decorating, because it is hard when it's just you. I did have employees, but currently right now, I do not have anybody. But I am going to be reaching out to our local universities and, start from, not to go into too much depth, when the time is right, and when I'm ready for that next move. Again, when we go back to part of the interview, let's not make mistakes, and make sure that you have everything in order and a plan. Just like when you go to a bank and you have a business plan. I didn't go to a bank. I didn't put a business plan for a financial bank, but I had a plan. You always have to have plans, and those plans can change. Like my brain changes tomorrow. Oh, let me add this. And I'm like, how am I supposed to do that? Right. So just make sure that, you have everything in order. So once all that is put together and I have it all ready and it's launched, then I can proceed, because one thing that's tough, if you're like me, I'm a hard worker, a go-getter, and I am stubborn. So I feel like nobody can't do it like me, but sometimes you have to let that go. And that's the hardest thing to say, okay, they can do it. But I'll probably still think in my head, I can do it better.
No, and for sure. And I think you bring up a great point. And, I've been in the financial world now for almost 15 years. I've owned my own business a couple of times as well. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges, especially Go for CEO community. When you go from solopreneur to business owner, and start bringing on talent, how do you transfer your skills, especially in something like what you do, very specific. You talked about the layered process, right? Of 5 and 7 or 3 and 2, like you mastered that, and then you have the technique to do that. So a lot of times it's right standard operating procedures. You think about a company, a big company, it's typically you put someone in a slotted position and there's like a handbook of what they need to do, right?
Right.
Similar in a small business, but then adding that flavor of why you're so unique and why you've been able to do something bigger in the marketplace. So awesome stuff. Well, look, I'm excited. I think over the next 6 to 12 months, we'd love to have you back on. That's one of our purposes on Go for CEO, is to build a community around Riva Chic, around you and your style. I'd love to hear, maybe in 6 to 12 months, now you've launched that other division, the web-based interior design, adding more services to what you do, and really kind of see where you're going. So one of the ways that we end our interview is CEO, right? Which is the mindset of Go for CEO. So client experience, engagement, we used to call it employee engagement, but just engagement in general, and I'll share why, and then operational excellence. So for client experience, you've touched on it a couple times, but give us like 90 seconds of why is it that people truly love the experience to come to Riva Chic?
I have actually a video on that. Your personality, when they walk in, you make them feel comfortable. You listen to their needs. You don't push on things. You make them feel like they're a family member of mine, and just, I guess the thing is, listen to what they're saying. And that's, a lot of people make a mistake, is they don't listen and they go over that. So personality, customer service, my customers are number one. and anything else, they're number one.
I love it. I love it. So you're saying, hey, I'm looking for a curio cabinet with white color. You're saying you don't go, hey, look, I just got this red, unbelievable, right? So you're listening, right? Listening. So that's awesome. Engagement. What engagement is really, why are vendors, people like, when you haven't had employees, people that you work around in the ecosystem that you have, why do you think they engage with you and RIVA CHIC?
Um, I think I'm personable. I think I'm fair. I think I'm honest. I don't know, very dedicated to them. I send business their way as well.
Hmm.
I think to me, nobody is ever a competitor because we are all here doing one thing, and that is to serve our community. And I wish everybody, the success, because none of us are competitors, because we might have the same stuff, but we all do different things. So
Awesome.
that's my
Awesome.
philosophy. Not everybody can go by that, but
No, sure.
I have
I
to.
mean, but that's what makes you unique, right, as well, too. So, and the last one is operational excellence. It could be from the systems that you're using, the process that you have, like right now, you discovered a way to deliver with a partnership. So operationally, what makes, RIVA CHIC, that next value add?
Operationally with the delivery does help. Right now, about a month ago, 2 months ago, I got approved for Afterpay, which is because if during your credit cards with Square, you have to bring in so much money that your transactions. So now my customers get to take something home today and pay it every 2 weeks for 6 weeks. Which is really neat for a small business. That's a nice little achievement.
Hmm.
I'm paperless here. That's well, when they're doing custom orders, of course, you have them sign. I still like those. I'm a paper person when it comes to that, and then just scanning it and stuff. So I still do that. But I think the Afterpay, being approved for that, it's like basically like financing, but it's not, because it goes through your debit card right away. So it's like Karma, whatever, those other companies. You get so excited when you see those. I'm like, oh, I can buy these shoes, but I don't have to pay, 4 payments.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
That's
that's what
awesome.
RIVA CHIC also offers too. And then we also don't charge customers any credit card fees if there is no credit card fee, transaction fee when they shop with us.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So you kind of eat that part of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of other folks that they do charge a credit card fee. Here at RIVA CHIC we don't do that.
Yeah. It's funny you bring that up. I've always felt like even, airlines, like just charge me in my ticket price, because I get so mad. Like, and I know it's going to happen. And we use Southwest Airlines now a lot more as a family, because now with 5 people, it does get expensive. But man, I cannot stand going to United and American. And I already know I have to do check, bags fees. But I'm like, why can't you just, like, instead of 475 a ticket, just charge me
Right.
560? And then in my mind, I'll be like, oh, 560. Okay, great. But I don't feel like I'm getting raked again when I get to the, like, it's just, so I love that philosophy. And, look, I'm sure, right? It's not a dirty little secret, but I'm sure you price your things well enough that that there's still margin in that, right? And all that type of
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
So
I mean,
it's,
if you
it's
don't, then you can, I mean,
yeah, I mean,
then you can't
but
be in business, right?
the simple fact that that human being feels better because they're not being told, here's an extra charge, makes you just, it's amazing what little things you could do to tweak and make a client and operationally still be sound, right? So awesome
Yeah, because
stuff,
those credit
Lucy.
card fees are crazy.
They can be. So, all right, hey, look, it's been awesome. I know we reconnected, I think about a year or so ago, and we, it's so cool to see someone that I knew 20 something years ago, right? Congrats to you and everything you're doing.
Thank you.
In the next 6 to 12 months, we'd love to have you back, learn about some of the things that are going on. But how do people get a hold of you? You talked about this cool new
Oh,
website and everything else.
sure.
So let's throw it to them. How do they get a hold of you?
So wherever you guys are, Riva Chic does still do shipping for home decor. So if you see anything on our Facebook page, it's, Riva Chic, RIVACHIC. We also have an Instagram account at Riva Chic. We have a YouTube channel, Riva Chic, and then our website, it's rivachic.com. But please, visit us there. I am really big on the Facebook because I post all the new stuff that come in, things that I just finished, my befores and afters for custom orders, our new decor, jewelry now. I also have the jewelry that I work with a distributor on that has been a hot ticket. And we have, soaps and they're all great soaps and candles and stuff that are made locally. So those are, the kind of things, if you guys ever, I do a lot of shipping from, in Chicago and Kentucky and everywhere. So please visit that and follow us on Facebook. That would help up, help the business. And I appreciate your time, John, and thank you for asking me. I'm very honored knowing you since you were a young buck. I really am honored.
Wait. I'm still young. What are you talking about?
But I thank you
Just
so
a
much for,
big praise.
I
Awesome.
wanted to thank you for, inviting me to your show.
No, yeah, I'm excited. And look, Go for CEO community, hit this like button, subscribe to the channel. I am John the Bomb. Building others means business. And, it's about moving and shaking, doing the things that you really love. And one of the things is exploring someone like Lucy, who has in Natchez 18,000 people around the 7 billion people or 8 billion people we have in the world. This lady is rocking it with this inspiration of Croatian love, her dad and everything else, to really just give something that comes back and helps you as a client as well enjoy something in your house or a jewelry or whatever, right? So awesome stuff. Thanks so much, Lucy.
Thank you, John.